Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about The Witcher. We're going to talk about the situation with Henry Cavill, situation with Origins, Blood Origin to some degree. But it's really interesting. We have the voice actor of Geralt in the video games coming out and saying he completely understands why Henry Cavill quit the show. Now, he quit the show. We want to be clear about that because there are rumors being started on Reddit that he was fired from the show.
Yeah, surprise, shocker, Reddit.
That he was being fired from the show because he was a toxic man trying to lecture, God, these ads. A toxic man trying to lecture the women, the people who were running the show on what was what, and they fired his ass, and that was the story. No, because
the other actors came out and said that wasn't true.
I believe they did support him. Yeah, they're like, it's not true. And the reality is, as far as we can tell, the reason he left was he was not happy with the direction of the show. This seems to be confirmed by the showrunner of X-Men 97, who worked on the first season.
They also tried to discredit by saying that he was fired.
And I'm going to tell you, Netflix, based on Blood Origin, based on the reception of Blood Origin, I think at this point you would do well to clean house and start over.
I agree.
Because
even based on the reception to the guy that got that left there, was supposed to be fired or whatever, left there and is doing X-Men 97, and him saying that I'm going to require people to be familiar with the source material and respect the source material, and it got like a lot of positive reception for him saying that.
Yes.
What's that tell you? What's that tell you?
It tells you that fans of certain franchises have certain expectations, and if those expectations are subverted or not met or whatever, there's going to be backlash.
If you actively hate the source material and want to change everything about it, you probably aren't the right fit.
Yeah, so let's talk about this. This is pretty damning to have the voice actor of Geralt come out and say, hey, I'm with him on this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over, let's see, we're at 284,000 subs.
Yay!
Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. If you don't hit the bell, you don't get notified. Or you can go to clownshishtv.com. Every time we post a video, it also posts a link to the video over there, and you can subscribe to the RSS feed and get it that way. Dual Shockers has this up. Geralt voice actor Doug Cockle doesn't understand why Netflix deviated from the Witcher books. This is what he said last month. Last month, they buried this for a while, didn't they? Last month, he said, Henry hasn't said it himself yet, but the chat says he's leaving because he doesn't agree with the storylines that the writers have been developing. If that's the case, I can completely understand.
Again, he also says that Henry Cavill isn't the one out there saying it.
Right. Henry is such a huge fan of the games and the books, and the writers on the Netflix series have chosen, for whatever reason they did so, to deviate quite severely from the books and the games. Whether that's good or not is down to what you like. I personally don't understand the choice, but there you go.
I think that's why Henry is leaving. Liam, more power to him. I do not envy him. I agree. I don't envy Liam Hemsworth at all.
Yeah, so they're talking about how the show has been mired in controversy ever since it was announced that Cavill would not be continuing on. The actor hasn't revealed his reason for leaving the show, but as Cockle pointed out, speculation suggests he wasn't satisfied with the writing. Okay. So that was the initial. Then once that came out that he wasn't happy with it, all of a sudden we got this weird ass anonymous post on Reddit saying that he was fired, that Netflix had to talk into. He got fired because he was giving those ladies a hard time. Even though they said, hey, thanks so much, Henry, for everything you've done, whatever.
They know the audience is going to leave with them. They know it.
I am really sorry about the ads, guys. Somebody's getting really desperate for ad revenue because there's like freaking just on this one page, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't not pull the ads up because it's just the way it is. So lots of entertainment earth because I was looking at toys. Anyway, it's been revealed to us that the recent reports stating that Henry Cavill was fired from The Witcher for toxic behavior on set are completely false. These reports stem from an episode of a podcast called Deuce You by Dumois, in which it was claimed that they were sent a message from an insider that stated Henry Cavill engaged in toxic behavior on the set of The Witcher toward women.
Of course, because we have to make it sound like, yeah.
To me, I'm not trying to be a dick, but given the attitude of some of the people working on this show, it would not surprise me if they were pissed off and were perpetuating rumors about Henry Cavill getting fired because maybe his NDA does not allow him to disclose the reason that they parted.
But you never hear anybody else in any other show or movie say this stuff about him.
No.
And I think I forget who it was, but I'm pretty sure a couple actors came out and said it wasn't true.
Yeah. So the reporter claimed that Cavill was actually fired from the Netflix show after repeatedly being cautioned about his toxic gamer bro behavior. It sounds like somebody that's like an anti-Gamergate person that's like, well, he plays the video games and the Warhammers and the stuff, and he's the gamer bro. They stated it became difficult to work with him, especially for female members of the cast and crew. It does have to be stated that the insider said none of this reported toxic behavior toward women was sexual. No, because you're asking for a lawsuit then. So what is sexual? Okay. The insider stated someone on the show compared Cavill's alleged gamer bro radicalization to watching someone get brainwashed by QAnon.
Says one person who
says one person, but it's on Brett. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. You know? But then he immediately gets hired by Amazon to oversee Warhammer. So he couldn't have been that bad, right? Right? But they were trying to tie everything back. Well, the reason he was cut loose from DC, even though everybody else is getting fired from DC too because they're rebooting the whole thing, it's because he was a toxic gamer bro.
Yeah, because you're just trying to throw it together. Because he's a guy, it's obviously that.
However, I've been doing some digging into all this because we did receive a similar tip before.
It's probably the same person.
Same person. We decided not to publish it because the allegations were unsubstantiated.
Apparently it was like a thread on Reddit, and it was all probably coming from that one thread.
Yes.
And people were sending it to everybody.
I reached out to Cavill's representation as well as Netflix, and they opted not to comment on the allegations made against Cavill. I also spoke to a source with very close ties to The Witcher's production. They say that the reports of Cavill's toxic behavior on the set are completely false. Here's what they had to say on the matter. The reports are completely false. Cavill was always very professional. Him leaving the show had nothing to do with his working relationship with the cast and crew of the series. And as far as I'm aware, he wasn't fired. He probably had signed on, if I had to guess, he signed on for 3 seasons, because that's pretty standard. Mm-hmm. And they were like, hey, you're going to do some more? And he's probably like, nah, I'm good, because of the direction of the show. He probably is like, I'm good. But again, part of the deal is probably he's not allowed to go out there and trash talk. And I don't think he really does. He really doesn't trash talk. You know, I mean, if he had bad experiences on set, I haven't heard.
He's mostly positive, just in general. Like, okay, cool. I don't even know if I'm going to get this Warhammer show, but let's be positive about that, you know? Yeah. It just seems overall positive. Even when he got Superman yanked away, he was still upbeat and positive about it.
Yeah, and that was through no fault of his own. Fans were pushing for it. I mean, they just had a cameo in Black Adam, and they're just rebooting the whole thing. But look, you have a Witcher problem. Netflix, you have a massive problem. Blood Origin is a disaster. A lot of people laying the blame at the feet of Lauren Hisrich, who's supposedly in charge of all this shit. And again, this is turning. And you want to talk about Gamergate? This is turning into like another Gamergate type situation.
Well, you lost your Henry Cavill, so you lost him. Because he's so effing tired of it, allegedly. And now you're losing with your new show.
Yeah.
I mean, you really should just give it up at this point. I would stop at season 3 and call it a day.
Call it a day. And they might. And I honest to God, I think that it might be that season 4 is not guaranteed, because we know Netflix is cutting back on stuff where they can, stuff that hasn't been pushed through yet. A lot of times they're pulling the plug on it. And, you know, if you read between the lines, and that would explain the desperation too. If you read between the lines, a lot of what the people working on the show have been saying are like, you know, watch season 3. You need to watch season 3. You need to watch it, because if nobody watches season 3, Netflix execs might look at it and be like, there's no reason to do another season.
Well, there probably isn't. I mean, for the backlash alone, and Blood Origin doing so bad, I think they should just, you know, scrap it. But that's just me. Yeah,
so this is pretty damning to have the voice actor come out and say, hey, if that's the case, I don't blame him, because they did deviate from the games quite a bit. And he signed on thinking he was going to do an adaptation of the games, and that's not what he got.
No.
So, all right, we got to wrap this up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.